how we all doing? Welcome to day 3 of our 7 days VA training. Before we go into today's session, I would like for us to subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and also share to our friends, foes, as the case may be, and persons we feel might actually benefit from this training. In today's session, we'll be focusing on mastering our design skills to improve our virtual assistant capabilities and also how to use visual communication in today's digital landscape. At the end of today's session, we would have gained ample knowledge on how to use different design tools. We would have learned how to create visually appealing documents and unlocking our inner creativity. We would have also learned how to enhance communication and engagement in designed content. This session is all about being creative, being able to research, go beyond your limits. Just to rewind, the title for today's session is Design Skills for Virtual Assistants. First, let's delve into what is design. What do you think design is? I can remember most of us in primary school or secondary school, you did fine art and you have a basic knowledge of what you think design is. But just a simple definition, design is an arrangement of lines or shapes created to form a pattern or decoration. So according to Wikipedia, design is also a concept of either an object, a process, or a system that is specific and in most cases detailed. Now, what are design principles? Well, design principles are crucial. They're things that are crucial for creating, captivating, and effective visual communication. Visual as in something that is seen. Visual communication in creativity and communication. Mastering design principles is essential for creating visually appealing and impactful designs that resonate with audiences across various mediums. Now, what are the principles of design? Have you ever stumbled upon a confusing parking sign or a billboard and you're like, or an outdated website and you're like, what's this? Why does this look? I can't seem to comprehend what is going on, what message they're trying to pass. That is tagged as a bad design in action. With the principles of design, you'll be able to know how to relate with people, communicate with people without words, just visual, pictures, graphics, whatever have you, colors, fonts. You'll be able to communicate with people. There are 12 known principles of design. We have balance, we have emphasis, repetition, movement, proportion, white space, contrast, hierarchy, rhythm, pattern, and variety. We also have unity. So I'm not going to explain all the 12 principles. I'll just go ahead and pick a few and explain to us. First, let's go with balance. What is balance? What do we think balance is? Balance is seen in the art world. Balance is seen as the art of visual harmony. It is the key to a design. It is the major thing needed in design because if your design is not balanced, you don't have enough balance on your design. Things are looking unequal, not there's no flow. The design seems to, be off. We can call that a bad design. Visual balance is all about ensuring your design is equally weighted on both sides of the central point. It's like a seesaw. I don't know if you know what a seesaw is. It says too much weight on either side and the whole thing becomes unbalanced. But we have to balance our design, balance whatever we are creating. And there are three types of balance. We have the symmetrical balance as we can see here. We have the asymmetrical balance and we have the radial balance. For an example, I can give you a look. Okay, for example, we have for symmetrical balance, there's this McDonald's um logo. That is a symmetrical balance design. For asymmetrical balance, we can say Apple, the Apple logo, the Samsung logo. We have the Nike logo, Facebook, and YouTube logos. Those are examples of asymmetrical design. Then for radial balance, we have something like, something for the picture that's shown here, we can see it looks like ray, like the sun with rays. So for example, probably we have a tomato, like a juice squirting from a tomato, like this, something like this. This is a radial balance. This is a radial balance kind of design. If you can see, yeah. So see, yeah. Balance, it radiates from a central point, like it guides the viewer's eye. Balance achieves harmony and engages, it captivates your audience. Oh, what is this? Why does this thing look this way? Oh, I'm interested as to how this design came about. That's what we mean by balance. Second, I'm going to talk about emphasis. Emphasis. Emphasis is also known as the spotlight effect. We can see what is depicted in this picture right here. We can see the effects. Even without anybody telling us, we know that okay, this picture depicts emphasis. Emphasis directs the spotlights on design elements by playing with the size, shape, just make it different. Probably a particular place, or you know a particular place, on probably you're helping a client design a website particular place. Oh, this place stands out. Emphasis, you're emphasizing. Probably you want customers to click on a particular call to action, or you want it to look different and captivating. Oh, I want this customer to, okay, when a customer visits the site, goes there and say, oh, seems that this is actually what they do. This is actually what the actual call to action you actually want me to do on this website. That's emphasis. It can either be in colors, in shapes, whatever form. It can be in fonts, anything, something that will captivate, that will guide the audience. Oh, they're emphasizing on this. Oh, if I click on this, it takes me to where I want to be. Yeah. So yeah. So let's move on to the next. We have repetition. What is repetition? What do we think repetition? Repetition brings designs to life. From fonts to patterns, it adds cohesion and familiarity. When a brand does a certain thing a certain way, oh yes, this is so brand. Even when you hear on radio and you hear an advert and you're like, oh, that is Glow. Oh, that is Coca-Cola. Oh, that's Pepsi. That's what repetition is all about. So you have is like creating a brand identity. Creating a brand identity. For example, you can say, oh, Coca-Cola has a red colored bottle cap, and there's a red design logo around it. On the bottle. Oh yeah, we know that okay, Pepsi uses the color blue with red, white, like touch of red, white, and on it. Yeah. So that's all about repetition. So let's go into proportion. Proportion. You can see a picture of a man and a dog. So it might leave us thinking, do we think what is proportion? In proportion, elements need to coordinate and look right together. Whether it is hierarchy or balancing a tortoise and hare, proportion is your secret ingredient. You can say you want to make the dog bigger than the man, because obviously you can't see a dog bigger than an adult or a cat bigger than adults. We can see in this picture a man, an adult, and a cat. But ordinarily, what comes to mind? Well, assuming uh, the cat was bigger than the man, what would your thoughts be? You'd be like, oh, this is so unreal. It's not possible. How would the cat be bigger than the man? It's like a visual recipe. It's all about hierarchy and balancing. It's one of the secret ingredients when it comes to design. It is also called the harmony equation. For example, when you're reading a blog post or an article, You expect that the headings or subheadings are supposed to be larger than the body text, are supposed to be larger than the major content of the blog or the article, and not the other way around. Or let's say we have an ant and a tortoise, and we see that the ant is larger than the tortoise, and you're like, no, that's not possible. Proportion comes in the sense that, okay, when we are designing, one, we should make our design have a harmonious equation, and we should also make our design make sense, realistic when it comes to proportion. The size difference must match and it must be reasonable, realistic. Now, moving on to the next design principle, which is white space. I'm sure most of us might have not heard of white space. Say white space in design. White space is seen as allowing your design to take a deep breath, allowing your design to breathe. When you hear white space, it doesn't mean that particular area or your design is empty. For example, we have this background, we have this background, we have black, and we have this color. Don't know what the name of color is. We have this color and we have black. We can see in this picture it depicts that allowing your design to breathe. Compulsory, you have the white space. It might not necessarily be white, the color white. Design has the color yellow, green, and blue. And you want your design to breathe. You can go with maybe, oh, I want to have, okay, a lighter shade of green, maybe lemon, or I want to have black in a certain particular place. You're not allowing everything to be choked up. It could be a neutral color, not necessarily, oh, okay, the brand colors purple and white, for example. We have our brand colors as purple and white. And you say, oh, no, my design to take a deep breath. You can choose a color, probably a neutral color, not something that is off. And it just makes your design so unique. And a lot of customers or your clients is able to understand that, oh, okay, this is what this person wants. And when everything is all jumbled up and all, there's confusion. It brings in confusion, and we don't want that. So next we have contrast. Yeah. For contrast is like a drama queen. Adds drama to your design. You can play with colors, like your color palette. You can play with layout just to create excitement. Like when I come to your website or see a particular presentation you've made, I'm like, oh wow, okay, let's see more. What do you have? It excites people, it engages people. For example, let me take you to Canva and show you different color palettes in Canva. Let's say, for example, I want to create a design. So Instagram post. Okay. Let's say we are using this. Huh. So let's talk about the color palette. Okay, I clicked on this and here it takes me to the color palettes and here. Oh, and I want to change the background. We have, see, we know that all these are in the same. Can play with colors, contrast. Oh, I want this. We have this. I have circle here. I want it to be in contrast with the background color. Then we come here and say, oh, okay, yeah, let's do this. We have these, and we want to play around. Let me duplicate. We can play around with when it comes to contrast. You can play with colors. You can play with shapes, whatsoever. You can play with colors, you can play with shapes, you can play with, let's see, shapes. You can, oh, I want to do this. I want to, Yeah, so that's it. That's about contrast. Okay, let's talk about unity. Unity is when elements sing together. Unity is the sweet spot where elements coexist in harmony. It's about order and pleasing a whole lot of people. When you have unity, you are able to achieve visual and conceptual understanding of your design. You're able to impact people with your design when your design is uniform. And to achieve unity, you need to look out for three things. One, you need to check whether the elements you've used have a good reason to be there. Do they depict a particular meaning? You have to think about that. Or this element being here, this particular, this shape, this color, whatever it's here, is it meant to be here? Why is it here? Elements should depict a particular meaning. Also, you need to check whether they work together. Do all the fonts, your colors, your shapes, and what have you in your design, do they work hand in hand, or do they look like they don't even, it just looks jumbled up and all? Do they look like they ought to be together? Do they bring on a sense of uniformity? Thirdly, we talk about whether the message or concept you're trying to display is communicated clearly. The concept or message you're trying to pass on to persons who view your design, who view your presentation, who view your pitch deck, who view your Instagram post. Are you communicating to them in the right way, or you're allowing them, or you're giving them a another meaning different from what you want them to understand? So I'll take the 12 principles of design again. We have balance, we have emphasis, repetition, movement, proportion, white space, contrast, hierarchy, rhythm, pattern, variety, and unity. We all know that an effective design engages, informs, and inspires, making it a vital tool for artists, marketers, educators, communicators, and VAs like yourselves.